A very good afternoon. You're watching Lunchtime News on TV1. I'm Michaela Fernando. Before we head into more stories in detail, here's a look at headlines.
New resolution to the Geneva Human Rights Council debated in Parliament. Day 3 of the debate on the second reading of the budget commences. 3 armed forces speak of their duty in eradicating narcotics. Today marks the International Women's Day, a separate railway compartment for women introduced. Second day of the 140th Battle of the Blues.
The International Women's Day is celebrated today. This year, International Women's Day is celebrated under the theme of Balance for Better, which calls for a better push for gender equality across the globe. In Sri Lanka, the Women's Day will be celebrated under the theme Smart Women for a Better World.
The United Nations theme for International Women's Day this year is Think Equal, Build Smart, Innovate for Change. Innovation by women and girls for women and girls is at the heart of efforts to achieve gender equality. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, in his message to celebrate women worldwide, said, quote, "Gender equality and women's rights are fundamental to global progress on peace and security, human rights and sustainable development," unquote. With many issues around the world unsolved, heightened awareness and public enthusiasm in striving for gender balance, many countries are seen marking the day in honor of women in different ways. Issuing a message, President Maithripala Sirisena said, "Sri Lankan women must be empowered so that all forms of discrimination and violence against women and the girl child are eradicated. They can generate income and take decisions in this regard equal to men. They can go forward to achieve high positions in the political field. In a similar way, their successes were recorded in the public sector and they can influence decision making." Meanwhile, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, in his International Women's Day message, said, quote, "Achievements of women are an achievement to the community due to the decisive role played by them in society. Women have come a long way through many hardships, life challenges, with much of courage and commitment to assure a sustained living for them," unquote.
A key accomplice of leading heroin peddler Valle Suranga was arrested in Mattakuliya.
The arrest was made by police STF officers attached to the Organised Crimes Prevention Unit. 2 grams and 85 milligrams of heroin, 50 grams and 467 milligrams of Kerala cannabis, 2 machetes and a sum of 134,150 rupees were seized from his possession. The suspect, Kumara Paliyege Lahirunayampitiya, is 23 years old and will be produced before the Maliga Khanda Magistrate Court today.
2 suspects were arrested in Tiharia Nitambua for the alleged possession of ganja.
The arrests were made following raid carried out by the Nitambur police after they had received a tip-off. At the time of the arrest, the suspects were transporting the stock of ganja from Habaradua to Nitambur on a 3-wheeler. 8 kilograms of ganja worth 2 million rupees were seized from the suspects' possession. The suspects are aged 22 and 27 and they will be produced before the Attanagalla Magistrate Court today.
In more local news, the Department of Railways has taken steps to allocate women-only compartments in office trains starting from today, in line with the International Women's Day.
Superintendent of Railways Dilantha Fernando said these compartments were declared open by Minister of Transport Arjuna Ranatunga and State Minister Ashoka Abhisinga at the Veyangoda and Kurunagala railway stations. Under the first phase of the initiative, compartments allocated only for women will be available in 7 office trains. Fernando noted Sagarika, Samudradevi and office trains running up to Mahava, Polgavala, Rambukkana, Mangadeniya and Mirigama will include these compartments.
The third day of the 2019 second budget reading commenced today. The attention regarding the resolution that the country has decided to co-sponsor at the United Nations Human Rights Commission was also debated in Parliament.
Is the government going to submit a resolution to the UNHRC in addition to the one Mangala Samaravira announced he will cooperate? Is there a cooperation from the government? Has its content been discussed at the cabinet and has it been presented before the Parliament? I would like to ask these people who speak as to whether they have any trust in the judiciary. When the UPFA was in government, the Chief Justice was brought before Parliament and she was sacked in 24 hours. That is why there was no trust in the judiciary back then. They did this back then and they are reprimanding the international community, saying that they were trying to send in judges. That situation changed after 2015. They speak of war heroes. It was you who dragged Sarath Fonseca from the legs and put him in jail. I agree with the Leader of the House. Leader of the House, as you are aware, I am a person who was attacked with tear gas for going on protests against the removal of the Chief Justice. They damaged my vehicles when I was protesting against Sarath Fonseca being jailed. But my question was this: leaving aside the mechanism to solve the problems regarding the war heroes, this decision has been taken to bring down international judges and pass down verdicts in international courts. That is what I asked.
ඔවුන්ගේ සාක්ෂි විමසලා ජාත්‍යන්තර අධිකරණ වලින් තීන්දුව දෙන්න තමයි මේ තීන්දුව ගත්තේ මම ඇහුවේ වෙන එකක් නෙමෙයි. ඊටාම සාධාරණව
The clear question that we are asking is, what is the resolution that is being presented by the government today? At present, USA, which was a co-sponsor country in the resolution, has left the UNHRC. The government is acting in favor of the resolutions that are being brought against the country.
රජයට රටට විරුද්ධව කියන යෝජනාවලිය සම්බන්ධයෙන් පක්ෂපාතීව කටයුතු කරනවා. මංගල සමරයේ ඇමතුමාවත් අපේ ආණ්ඩුව
Neither Mangala Samarveera nor the government has agreed to bring in international judges into the country. The agreement only has technical assistance with regard to how the judicial activities will be carried out and how the evidence will be called. We are holding discussions with the international community to amend the resolutions that were presented earlier and to amend them in a way that is favourable to the country. We have agreed to that.
ඒවා සංශෝධනය කිරීමට අපි කැමැත්ත ප්‍රකාශ කරලා තියෙනවා. එච්චරයි.
The second day of the 140th Battle of the Blues is currently underway. Batting in their first innings, the Thomians were 295 for 9.
Batting in their first innings, the Royal College cricketers scored 158 runs. In response to the first innings of Royal College, Thomians were 158 for the loss of 6 wickets at the close of day 1, with Ravindu Silva and Dilumin Ratnayaka at the crease. Thomians lost the wicket of Ravindu Fernando for 2 runs this morning, while Dilumin was out for just adding 3 to the total. Meanwhile, the injured royalist Pasindu Surya Bandara did not field today. Pasindu was a member of the Sri Lanka under-19 cricket team. Kalana Pereira registered a half-century today.
Looking back at some local news, a media briefing was held at the Ministry of Defence in relation to the duty of the tri-forces in eradicating narcotics.
අපිට රටට ගොඩක් දේවල් එන්න පුළුවන් මුහුදෙන් අහුවෙන්නේ නැතුව. අපිට රටක්
A number of things can come into the country through the sea without getting caught. But as a country, we can only intervene 12 miles from the shores. Beyond that point, if we seize any narcotics, we only have the right to destroy them. We do not have any permission to make any arrests. We know from where these narcotics arrive from. These are made in Afghanistan, and through Iran they come to the coast of Pakistan. And from there they bring it in huge ships. Now what I'm showing you is an Iranian trawler caught in March 2016 with 101 kilograms of heroin. Now you see these are packed and there is a number. We have a book which contains information gathered through our intelligence officers. When we take a look at this, a similar stock of heroin of 302 kilograms was seized in the seas of Africa from an Australian ship. So based on the watermark, we know where these are from. So we exchange this intelligence information. So next time we will arrest them. We have identified the route which is used to get to the island, which is the southern route. We caught a ship. When we searched using GPS technology, this has come from the Mathura coast and even had gone down further than Maldives. The narcotics that gets into the island does not need to be brought in trawler boats. There are fishermen who stay in the sea for more than 21 days. There are more than 3,200 multi-day trawlers. So they transfer the narcotics to these boats and then it will be unloaded in the country.
And that is a wrap of lunchtime news. For all these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsfirst.lk. Have a good day.